And welcome back to the Hotline. We are talking the Visa Cash App Racing RB Toro Rosso former Alpha Tauri. Yeah, you get the picture. But former Minardi, if you want to go really old school. So they had their launch today, the 9th of February. So we're going to speak about it. It was a bit of a weird thing. It was really hard to find anywhere to watch it. So what you're watching now is obviously the unveiling of this. And it's from motorsport.com. They're reporting basically following what is a winter of significant change for the Faenza-based squad. That's where Minardi were originally based, which has a new team principal after Mr. Tost retired, and a new identity. The car, I think it's called the VCARB01. Yep, say it with me again. VCARB01. That was shown for the first time at a launch party. As you'll be able to see in a second, the blue, black and white Challenger. It features significant branding from new sponsors Visa and Cash App, hence the name. Now on the technical front, the new car features interesting changes, and it's kind of, a lot of people are suggesting it's an RB Red Bull version 2. Red Bull concept. It's been very open about being closer with the team after opting to run a Red Bull designed rear suspension, as we know from last year's Singapore Grand Prix, which increased their pace greatly. RB has also switched to a pull rod front suspension layout for this season. Now, while the VCARB01, it retains a lot of these design features of last year's Alpha Tauri. That's the AT04. If you are in the know. Perhaps the most obvious change is, yes, those side pods and the inlets. It's moved much more towards the concept of the Red Bull, as they kind of predicted, although its current design is, people are suggesting it's more similar to the 2022 RB18 Challenger. The team has high hopes of making progress this year. I think everyone is expecting them to do a lot better this year than they did last year, in hopes of making progress this season after a push from, well, basically Red Bull HQ. It has a new management structure. We've got CEO Peter Bayer and team principal Laurent Mekies running that operation. On the driver front, as you know, there's Danny Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda. They're going to continue with the outfit, and potentially a lot of people are saying only one of them is going to stay. They're fighting potentially for that Red Bull seat. And the interesting thing is, will one of them go halfway through the season if Sergio Perez does not, well, if he has a similar 2023, let's say. Now, speaking at the end of last year, Ricciardo felt that the changes at the team had moved RB away from being viewed simply as a place for Red Bull young drivers. They kind of want to be their own team. And I mean, getting into what Ricciardo said, he said rivals will now take this revamped RBF1 team more seriously. Yep, Daniel Ricciardo says the changes at the revamped RB team will force rivals to take the former Toro Rosso and Alpha Tauri outfits more seriously. So he said, how I feel about it is probably for the outside in, other teams or people who think that it's just a Red Bull kind of junior team. It's a way for everyone to take us more seriously. I think it's a year, he went on to say, where we feel like we kind of stand on our own 2 feet and have some serious partners on board. And I think that's massively beneficial for us as a team. The structure has changed a lot of new personnel coming in, and we're trying to really build something that's going to fight, obviously. We all hope for now at the front. We all hope for now to be at the front of the midfield. Ricciardo said he likes the look of the new team, which you've by now seen on this replaying video. It has a lot more colour, and it's very akin to the old Toro Rosso blue and silver machine. I think it looks quite nice. But anyway, Ricciardo went on to say, for what I've seen, it's cool. He said, I think the overalls and all that, we look good, that's cool, and it's a nice thing, of course. Presentation, it's a big thing for us. Performance, he also said, is of course primary, and we'll have to see how that goes on track. But we've got the looking good part down, and hopefully everyone else likes it too. Now, asked about targets for this year, he said the primary objective will be to have consistent performances across all different types of track. He said we want to be fighting at the front of the midfield, so if we're consistently a Q3 car, consistently getting points, top 10s, not just the odd race, maybe a 6th and then a 15th. He used as an example. He concluded by saying, I think because consistency then kind of really shows that you have an understanding of the car and the team has a good grasp on it. And that can then help you go that step closer to the front. So consistency, that's what I'm going for so far. So that's pretty much all the news, because there really wasn't that much. I mean, I'm listening to the race podcast. They were even saying that there wasn't even a press pack or anything. So it's kind of just meh in terms of that. I mean, it was a bit like the Haas launch, really, which wasn't much, really. Disappointing, maybe, because it is a nice livery. So I predict Daniel Ricciardo probably to be the better of the two drivers, because I think he is a lot hungrier than to get that potential Red Bull seat. Although Albon has now been linked to it, but we'll get into that in another news story. So if you like what you see, please like and subscribe if you can. That would be absolutely fantastic, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much.